Everybody, welcome back to Tony Fix Morning Show. I'm Tony, joined by Rod today for this Saturday breakdown here from we'll have college basketball, college football. We've got NBA on the board today, NHL. We'll close out as well as college hoops. Let's say hello to Rod, then we'll get to the picks. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much, Tony. We were just talking about how big this card is today. Woo! Massive card today. So definitely plenty of spots to get us paid. So let's find those winners and have ourselves a big Saturday. Got a rough Friday. Ooh, my rare rough Friday for me. I was trying to that Dallas game. Oh, and hoops was ugly. That was I didn't see any foul. I was like, wow, that was totally fixed at the end there. Anyways, it was I didn't see any foul. I thought we were going to overtime, and all of a sudden they call a foul, and I thought Dallas, the arena, was going to be a lot more loud and ruckus after that rough call. Well, look who the ref was, though. It was what's his name? Tony Brothers, yeah. That's So as soon as I seen him, I was like, oh yeah, here we go, dirty tricks committee and going on in that one. Right, Mavs got robbed. Oh, they ever got robbed. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
it's one of those days.
Yeah, one of those days at the Mavs. It's just it happens. We'll get to college football now. Let's look at the nooner games. We don't have as many. We usually have a little more than this, but it's spread out in this 41-game card. So on the nooner games, we'll cover Florida, Texas, West Virginia, Cincinnati, Miami, and Georgia Tech, Navy, South Florida, Syracuse, BC, Purdue, Ohio State, Texas State, UL Monroe, and Minnesota and Rutgers in the slot.
And looking at these ones in the slot, I'm looking at that Georgia Tech line moved. I like more at Miami now. Give me Miami, Florida over Georgia Tech there in that one. Only after laying a single number. It was double digits most of the week. 11.5, came down 11, went to 10.5, went to 10. Now you can find 9.5. Yeah, to lay a single digit, I'll lay it with Miami. Everybody's thinking we've seen Miami many a times have close games and not cover numbers, but I think this is one of those games they pound Georgia Tech. That Georgia Tech defense not the greatest. That offense is good, but I think the Hurricanes can slow up the Georgia Tech offense enough to outscore them in that one. The Georgia Tech defense not so good. So yeah, give me the Hurricanes there in that one. And then I like Boston College here in this spot against Syracuse. Both teams 4-4 against the number. Boston College here at home. I think offensively, they can outscore Syracuse. I think this ends up being like a shootout type game. I like the under or the over 52.5 there. I think we get into the 60s as we've seen. We've seen last season was 17-10. I like the season before where we got to it was 32-23, higher scoring one. This season, not like we've seen last season, 17-10. Boston College got the win, so Syracuse looking for a little revenge. I'm not going to get it. I think Boston College and the over there in that one. A couple I like in the morning. Smaller slot, as you said. Smaller nooners today, right? Not so many.
Yeah. Haynes King, the quarterback, will be a game-time decision here. Dealing with that upper body issue. He's missed the last two there for Georgia Tech. We'll see how that rolls there throughout as leading up to this game time here with Georgia Tech and Miami. So I'll look at here. I'm going to go ahead and take the points here with West Virginia. West Virginia's been performing really well here against the Big 12, running for nearly 5 yards a carry, 7.7 yards pass up. They're run stoppers defensively against the conference. Cincinnati's really struggled defensively in the Big 12 this year. Mountaineers have won and covered both road games against the Big 12. And we look at Cincinnati, just 6-11 of the spread at home. I'll take West Virginia at that plus price. It also, we'll look here at BC laying the point. Syracuse is really struggling in the road games, and they can't run the football on the road. Just 2.3 yards a carry. They don't pass the ball very effectively. Their Bass defense has been very poor away from home, giving up nearly 10 yards per pass attempt. Eagles been efficient with their passing game at home, and Syracuse 3-9 of the spread on the road against the ACC. I'll take BC in this spot. Purdue and Ohio State, a blowout game, no doubt. You look at the line, but I'm going to go over the total. Ohio State may take this over themselves. This Purdue team is really bad. They're giving up 47 points per game on the road. They're giving up 249 yards rushing for 5.5 yards a carry. They can't stop the pass. Give up 281 yards passing. So you do the math. It means they're giving up over 500 yards of offense away from home this year. 530 yards this Purdue team giving up. I look for Purdue, Ohio State over the total. I'll go and take this UL Monroe here plus the points against Texas State. Look at the Bobcats against winning teams, 1-5 of the spread on the road here, and they have road losses this year at Old Dominion, Sam Houston State. So I'll take UL in that spot there. And in that Minnesota and Rutgers game, I'm going to go ahead. It's back-to-back road games for Minnesota. I'm going to go ahead and take Rutgers here to get well here, plus 6 points. Golden Gophers, their offense has not been very good on the road. 2.8 yards to carry on the ground, 5.8 yards for pass attempts. They don't have that firepower that we saw the Bruins suddenly wake up with. Right? This Bruins team has been one of the ones that turned around in the Pac-12. As I was joking the other day with somebody saying, USC, UCLA may be for a bowl berth. Would have thought that would have been the case, right? First team for who will be the first team to 6 wins? Might be UCLA. The way they're looking right now, no one have ever thought that would have happened. What a disappointment for USC. But anyway, I'll look at Rutgers here at plus the points in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the Tony This Morning Show. We'll continue on here with this college football rundown. All right, let's get to the next block of games here. We will cover here. Let's see, what do we got? What is it noon? Yeah, let's see. All right, let's go from 10 a.m. and stop at the noon. Let's start at 1 p.m. and we'll stop at the noon, at the 3 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, 3:30. Let's do that. Liberty, Middle Tennessee State, UConn, UAB, Marshall, Southern Miss, Iowa State, Kansas State, Duke, NC State. Oh, there's a lot of 12:30s here. Yeah, Duke, NC State, Georgia State. Bad. Yeah, Georgia State, James Madison, Georgia, Ole Miss, Army, North Texas, San Jose State, Oregon State, Michigan, Indiana, Clemson, Virginia Tech, and that's where we'll stop right there.
Yeah, at the 3:30 Eastern runs, right? So
yeah.
Good games in this time slot today. I'm excited for this time slot. I'm going to start with North Texas. Army, hey, they've been rolling right along coming into North Texas, so I think this is definitely going to be a battle of offenses. I don't think a whole lot of defense is going to be played here in this one. You look, North Texas 7-1 in the over, Army 5-3. The over in the totals at 65. Now, one of those low totals. So I like the over 65 in that one, and I also like North Texas plus the points. I think they can hang with Army going score for score. So North Texas plus the points there. I like the under Georgia and Ole Miss. I think we know Georgia's defense is stout, and they're going to slow up that Ole Miss offense. And Ole Miss, I think they'll be able to slow up Georgia as well. It opened at 55. It's now down to 54.5. I like the under Georgia and Ole Miss in that one. And I'll continue to ride Clemson. I think Clemson beats up on Georgia Tech here in that one. At 6, I'll lay it with Clemson. I'll look to take an extended. I think they win by 10 plus over Virginia Tech. We say Virginia Tech up and down this season. I think this is one of those spots that the Clemson defense is too tough, and then offense just rolls right over, and they win by 10 plus there. And then I'm looking at I'm going to take Michigan plus the 14.5 points. I know their offense struggles at times to get points, but I think they can slow up this Indiana offense enough to keep it closer than a 2-touchdown number there in that one. Give me Michigan plus the 14.5 there in that one. And then I like the over. James Madison and Georgia State. That Georgia State defense definitely can give up points. And we've seen James Madison give up some points as well. So give me the over 54 in that one.
All right, there from Rod. I'll tell you what I think about these games here in this slot. This Middle Tennessee State and Liberty game, I'm going to go over the total in this one. Liberty 8-2 to the over as road favorite. And look at Blue Raiders 4-1 to the over as home dog. This Blue Raiders defense is really bad. I mean, but they do have an experienced quarterback in Tatio, and they're throwing for the football for 293 yards passing per game, 8.4 yards for pass attempt. That's against the Conference USA. But again, defensively, they give up over 5 yards to carry, 8.3 yards per pass attempt. Liberty can run the football. They can throw the football, but their pass defense isn't very good. So I'll look for the over in that one between Liberty and Tennessee State. I'm going to take UAB plus the points here. UAB is showing me a little bit something here. 5-1 to the spread is this UAB team at home against the non-conference. UConn has really struggled in their road games with quarterback play, and their defense has not performed well, giving up nearly 70% completion rate here. And we know with UAB, they're a one-way team. They just throw the football because they've got Dilfer as the head coach. All they do is throw. So I think this is one where they can kind of outscore UConn here, because UConn, as quarterback play, has not been good away from home. So I'll look at UConn plus the points in that one. And let's see here. Kansas State and Iowa State. I'm sorry, Kansas. And I'm going to take Kansas at home plus the points here. The Jayhawks have covered 2 straight, including that win against Houston at home. Iowa State defense here over their past 3 games is their run defense has gone south considerably, giving up 210 yards rushing for 6 yards a carry. Kansas has that dual threat quarterback, and they can run the football. So Iowa State's defense has been a little wrinkle here over their past 3 games and stopping the run. So I'll look at Kansas plus the price there. Also, let's see here. What else do we got in this slot? Boy, that Georgia Ole Miss line looks real fishy to me. I mean, it's you would think Georgia would be favored a lot more than this, but then again, you look at Georgia's how they looked over the last few games. To me, I'm just going to pass that one because I could see Georgia getting up and bringing their A game here against Ole Miss, and you didn't get that the past few games. Carson Beck's been kind of erratic, throwing picks. But I'm going to stay away from that one. I could see this one. I could see a big bounce here from Georgia, so I'm going to stay away. I'm going to go under here with North Texas and Army. This situation where Army's facing this explosive offense, but Army's just going to run the football and run clock. That's what they're going to do. I've seen it many times when Army faces these good offensive teams. They just pretty much all they do is pretty much run the football. You look at the Mean Green, they can't stop the run. There's not going to be a lot of big plays because, there's enough speed on North Texas to stop the big plays. But I'm just saying is they'll just run clock, get first downs, and the game lined under there with Army and the Mean Green there from North Texas. I'm going to take San Jose State here plus the point. What's happened to this Oregon State team? They just completely unraveled here. Yeah. Beavers 1-3 of the spread at home against the Mountain West. They can't cover here against this Mountain West team here. There is some offense here with the San Jose State team. I saw them push Washington State in a game this year as well, but they're stronger offense here. I'll look for the San Jose State team to get it. When you look at this defense right now for Oregon State, it's just on totally south there. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I'm going to take Virginia Tech plus the points here against Clemson. I'm seeing some improvement from this Hokies team. They're putting up points against the ACC. They have a good run game. The passing game has come together, and they're defending very well, holding teams at 3.7 yards a carry. Clemson has not been as effective on the road point-wise, right on the scoreboard there. The Hokies have won both home games in conference. And you look at Clemson's on the road here. They played some weak teams on the road. Wake Forest and Florida. We saw Wake Forest, right, that defense. They played Florida State on the road. So now they're going to face their biggest test on the road here in ACC play. And when you look at the Tigers as a road favorite here, of 3.5 to 10. They're just 4-6 to spread. So I'll look at Virginia Tech in this spot. All right, let's continue here on the Tony This Morning Show as we get ready for the next series of games. And the ones we'll cover here will be from, let's see, we'll start from 4 Eastern, and we will go all the way till, let's see, we'll do the 4. Yeah, we'll go from 4 Eastern to 7. We'll go to 4 Eastern to 7 Eastern. In the 7:30, we won't cover. So we'll just go from 4 Eastern to 7 Eastern. And these are the games we have there will be Colorado, Texas Tech, Temple, Tulane, Kennesaw State, UTEP, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Jacksonville State, Louisiana Tech, Arkansas State, UL Lafayette, Western Kentucky, and New Mexico State. Maybe we should stop there. We'll stop there. We'll just go to 6 Eastern. So that's where we'll stop.
Just at the 6 Eastern, right? Because there's
6 Eastern.
There's a boatload at 7 still. So
yeah.
Okay, so I'm 4 p.m. Eastern. Looking at Colorado coming into Texas Tech here. I think this is going to be a great game between both these two teams. Colorado's doing, and they're definitely making some noise if they can come in and outright Texas Tech here. But I got to take Texas Tech plus the points. I think they give Colorado all they can handle. I think getting more than a field goal there, I will take it with Texas Tech. I lean to an over. I think this could easily get into a shootout as well. Both teams can put up plenty of points in that one, but I'll take the Red Raiders plus the points in that one. And then this one, good old shout out to Brian Midler. I will take Temple plus the 26.5 against Tulane. I think that's just too many. We know that Tulane has been running it up, but this Temple team has been scrappy, and they can put up some points themselves. At 26.5, that's just too many. Give me Temple plus the 26.5 there. And then, hey, it's Vandy. They're taking on South Carolina coming to town. This Vandy team's for real. I'm not going to fade them here. You're going to get me 6. I will take you the 6 with Vandy there at home. 7-2 against the number. I like the under 45. It's a lower total as well. Both defenses going to step up. Solid defenses there. So give me Vandy in the points plus the under 45 there in that one. And then I'm looking at the over Arkansas State and ULL. The Raging Cajuns offense definitely can roll Arkansas State there. Their defense isn't the greatest. You can see by the totals at 60 there in that one. I think we get well into the 60s there. Take the over ULL and Arkansas State. And that's it. Don't want to jump into the 7 ones.
Okay, that's the next one. All right, I'll tell you what ones I like here in this time slot here. I'm going to take Prime. I'm not going against Prime. He's we're dealing with injuries also in Texas Tech. Some defensive players, offensive players. So Texas Tech is banged up coming into this game. Banged up at running back and receiver. Hey, the Buffs will cover 3 or 4 on the road, but they're a road favorite in this spot. We know they're about one-dimensional, but the defense has really shown improvement this year for this Colorado Buffaloes team, and the receiving core is really good. I like what I see from the guys they throw out there. They're pretty impressive. Also, they got really good. As you know, Dion would have really good return teams. The punt returns. I mean, they've got some speed there with those return guys. So I like the little intangible there with Colorado. Temple Tulane, I'm going to go over in this game. Green Wave, man, against the AAC, they're putting up 44 points a game. They run, they throw the ball at crazy numbers here. They're completing 70% of their passes in conference, almost 10 yards per pass attempt. They're going up 16 points a game. Temple's giving up 44 points on the road this year. They do have a little bit of a passing game away from home, so they'll contribute a little bit to this total. So I like over Temple and Tulane. And then what else we got here? Kennesaw and UTEP. I'm going to lay it here. I'm going to lay it with UTEP. UTEP a little bit more efficient with their passing game at home. I want nothing to do with Kennesaw on the road. I mean, their quarterback situation is pretty bad. No accuracy, no efficiency at all. Yeah, Pavia might be a little banged up, although it looks like he's going to play. But you would, right? He's that type of guy that's going to play. Tough guy, man.
Yeah.
You look at the Vanderbilt defense. They've been holding teams to 22 points a game in conference. So I'll look at them plus the points in this one. And whether one we had talked about was that WKU and New Mexico State is in the slot. The last game in this slot. I'm just going to lay it with Western Kentucky here. I think if you can get under 18, you get 17 here against Western Kentucky, against New Mexico. There's no home field advantage in New Mexico State. I mean, Hilltoppers have pounded the bad teams in Conference USA. And you look at them offensively here against conference, putting up 39 points. They're completing 74% of their passes, 11 yards per pass attempt against this rock bottom Conference USA, and they defended pretty well. New Mexico State, they can't even complete half their passes in a bad conference. I mean, that's just 45% completions in a bad conference. What does that say about you? That's pretty bad there. And they're getting outscored by 21 points a game against the conference. And Western Kentucky is probably one of the best teams here in Conference USA. So I'll go ahead and lay it there with Western Kentucky. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Fix Morning Show as we continue on here with this college football card. And the ones we'll look at here, we'll just look at the ones here at the 7 Eastern slot. So that would include UCF, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Maryland, Oregon, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida State, Notre Dame, Alabama, LSU, and then we will stop at Oklahoma, Missouri.
All right, looking at I'm looking at Maryland and Oregon, and I think that total's just a touch too light at 58. You look at what Oregon's been doing, scoring, especially against the Big Ten. They're scoring 34, 35 points a game against Big Ten opponents. And Maryland, they can definitely put up some points themselves. I think we cruise into the 60s in this one. So at 58, I think definitely lots of value still on taking the over Maryland and Oregon. It's a big number, too, so I would have to lead to Maryland plus the points as well. That's a boatload, 23.5. Oregon could get there, but it's a lean, but I like the over as the play there in that one. And then I'm going to take Oklahoma State plus the 10.5 against TCU. I don't trust TCU to cover 10.5 points. As you see, they've covered twice this season. I know Oklahoma State hasn't covered a whole lot either, but in what's supposedly going to be a high-scoring game, as the total is at 68 there in that one. So not a lot of defense played by either side. I'm going to take the Oklahoma State plus the 10.5 there in that one. I think that's closer than people are thinking there. TCU minus 10.5. That's mind boggling. Give me Oklahoma State plus 10.5 there. And then I'm looking at that's a boatload to lay with Notre Dame here against Florida State. I know Florida State hasn't been the greatest, but 24.5. I'll take it with Florida State. I'll hold my nose and I'll lay the 24.5 points. I think that's just too many there as well. I think Notre Dame wins the game, no problem, but not by that many. And then Alabama, LSU, I'm going to take the over 58.5. I think both offenses can pile up plenty of points, and we get a good old shootout between Alabama and LSU, and we get up and over the 58.5 there in that one, with a lead to LSU to get the outright win there at home.
Yeah, you don't, LSU doesn't win defensive struggles anymore. Totally different team that we saw 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, huge. Yeah, no defensive 17-10 games.
Yeah, since they got rid of that gravel voice, it's been the other way around, right? This has been offense. All right, look here in this UCF Arizona State game. They got their quarterback Levitt back here for Arizona State. I'm going to go over the total here in that one. UCF, this is team. It's we saw BYU just pound them on the ground, and man, their defense is not good, giving up 282 yards passing against the Big 12. But we know this Arizona State team has a good passing game with that quarterback Levitt back in there. So I'm going to look here for Arizona State, 6-2 the over here at home, facing teams that average 425 yards per game or greater. So I'll look for the over in that one. And also, too, with the quarterback change, the Knights have upgraded that quarterback position as well. I think they found their quarterback now there with Dylan Rizek come up with a really good game last week against Arizona. So I think they solved that issue there. Yeah, I'm with you, Ron. I'm going to take Oklahoma. I know we've been very critical with Okie State, but, man, I just can't trust this TCU defense to cover. I'm not a big fan of this head coach here. We're starting to see the TCU program unravel like he did when he coached at Cal. The Horned Frogs offense at home, not much of a run game here, and that's what you need to do against Oklahoma State is run the football. But you're always going to get the offense. You're always going to get the passing game out of Oklahoma State, right? They can throw the football. That's what they do. When you look at TCU as a favorite of 10.5 to 21 at home, 1-3 to the spread. So I'll go ahead and take it there. Man, this Maryland Oregon game, Oregon has been. This is what they do: 4-1 to the spread when they're favored by 21.5 to 31 points. I'm just gonna hold my breath, close my eyes, and lay it with Oregon. I mean, it's just the way they've looked here. Maryland can't run the football. They do have an efficient passing game. I don't know if that's on the defense. They're giving up 34 points. On defense, Maryland's giving up 34 points a game, and they're giving up 309 yards passing for 9 yards for pass attempts. So they can't stop they can't stop anybody on the road. And this is it's a CBS game, right? This is a CBS game, right? So, and they're trying to get Dylan Gabriel the Heisman as well, right? He's one of the leaders there for the Heisman Trophy. So Gabriel, I think it's good. This is a showcase game for Gabriel. I'll go ahead. Although I'm a little nervous here with the Ducks in the second half, they have a tendency to take the foot off the gas.
Right?
That's the thing. I mean, I think the first half bet might be the better one, but the fact that Gabriel's trying to get him a Heisman, that may be a different story here. So, and you got the CBS game, right? This is the CBS noon game or early game, afternoon game. So, because I'm seeing a preview with the CBS guys doing at that stadium. So yeah, it's CBS. So I'll go ahead and lay for the game. It's on CBS. If it was on Big Ten Network, I probably wouldn't do it. All right. Mississippi State, they cover against the big boys, right? This is a team that you think, they cover Georgia, they cover against the big boys. They got another big boy here in Tennessee. The Volunteers have failed to cover 3 or 4. Mississippi State has covered 4 or 5. Give me all those boatload of points in this game. 25.5 now? Woo!
26 in spots.
26. Yeah, we got some ugly dogs here. I'm going to go under in that Florida State Notre. I think this is going to be a snooze fest here. I'm not expecting exciting football there with Florida State and Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame kind of keeps it on the ground. We know about Florida State's offensive struggles, inefficient, inaccurate quarterback play. Notre Dame is one of those running teams. I think Seminoles here 11-6 in the under on the road. I know it's a low total. It's a low total for a reason, right? Florida State's offensive struggles, and Notre Dame is a ground and pound team. I'll look under. And of course, Riley Leonard is not one of those deep throwers. He's all intermediate routes. So,
I like the points there. I think 24 is too much. with that low total. It's like me, and I like big spreads with low totals. It's just because the bookmakers know it's 24.5 to cover 24.5 points in a 42.5 point game. Ooh. I want the points there in that one.
I would rather, covering that. I'd rather have Sam Hartman instead of Ryan Leonard. Hartman's out.
Oh I would rather have Hartman.
Hartman is a rifle, right? But this guy is just he doesn't have much range in the shooting range. It's very short, so it's intermediate. This LSU Alabama game, we're seeing some money on 2.5, 3. Boy, it's hard to win in Death Valley at night.
Hard, right?
It's hard. I mean, I would rather take the points. I'd rather take the points. Tigers 4-1 to the spread as a home underdog. Alabama 5-8 to the spread as road favorite. Alabama is looking more and more like an old school Pac-12 team with a lot of offense and bad defense. They can't stop the pass. That's the problem there. When you look at the passing numbers, past defensive numbers here for Alabama, they have not been good. They give up 240 yards passing per game, 7.7 yards per pass attempt. So they're not running the football on the road this year. They're only 3.8 yards a carry on the road. Wow, that run game is just gone to It's not Saban, right? You're going to see some fall off here. There. Now, I'm going to say Oklahoma, Missouri. There's questions on that quarterback, so I don't want to touch that one. Where else? No, we're not. That's going too far there. So all right, let's continue here on the 20 this morning show. Is ready to. Well, that's not going too far. Oklahoma was part of that one, but I'm not going to touch that game. Quarterback there with Brady Cook there for Missouri. All right, let's close out college football here with the final games. We do have some late night games tonight. Finally, we got Virginia Pitt, Nevada Boise State, Washington and Penn State, UNLV Hawaii, Fresno State Air Force, BYU Utah, and a later game here tonight, Utah State on the CW now. We've got a funky channel covering some of these games. Utah State, Washington State, Rod.
Yeah, Utah, Washington State, right? Late night one. I like the over. It's a 70. This is the total. The total's a 70 in that one. I think they still be playing tomorrow morning when we start the morning show at 70. No defense played in that one, so definitely I like the over. But I like the Cougars to run it up in that one at 20.5. I think they cover the number and we get an over because the Cougars we've seen, their defense ain't the greatest. They've given up some points themselves, and that Utah State can score some points. I like Washington, the Cougars plus the over in that one. And then BYU and Utah, that's going to be a battle in that one. But give me BYU. They are the better team in Utah in that one. It's just what we've seen from BYU and what we've seen from Utah is always it's such a distraction. Is Cam Rising going to play? Is he not going to play? I don't think this Utah team was very good at all this season. So give me BYU. They are the better team in that one. The line looks a little fishy to me. At 3, I think I would have figured BYU would be a little more favorite than that, but they've been
they have been disrespected all year because they were 20-1 and picked to be last place right? in the Big Ten. So people are saying, well, they're going to regress. They're not that good, and they've been lucky here with defensive and punt returns. Hey, I always said this, man. They're making the Sharps look bad. So throughout the year, they're trying to make a case for them not covering, not winning. They're not as good because we thought they were going to be a terrible team coming into the season.
Right? And look what they've done. Getting disrespected is right. And overvalued is this Utah team as well, thinking they were going to be good. That defense isn't as good as what they were last year. I think the last year's Utah defense was way better than what they are this year. So, yeah, give me BYU in that one. I'm going to go with UNLV. They're on a nice little trip to Hawaii in that one. And at 12.5, we know that offense can definitely put up the points. And defensively, not the greatest, but the Hawaii offense is not the greatest either. So I think UNLV can cruise the win there in that one over Hawaii. And then Washington, man, is their second trip out east. They already went out east once. Now they're back out. You got to play Penn State. Good luck.
And Iowa had Iowa. They played Iowa out back east, right? Iowa, they got pounded right in the game against Iowa.
And they played who else? Rutgers. Didn't they come out and have to play?
Yeah, Rutgers. Yeah, they had a couple. They got already third one. Yeah, they had their third one.
Yeah, but this will be their third one out east. Yeah, exactly. So that's tough. I'm gonna lay with Penn State. I think Penn State's gonna run it up. This is what they're gonna do there. So I lay the 12.5 with Penn State there in that one. And then I like the over in Nevada and Boise. Definitely some offenses there. Nevada can put some points up at 60.5, 6-4 to the over. Boise 6-2 to the over. Yeah, definitely plenty of points in that game. Give me the over 60.5. And I'm going to lay it with Pitt over Virginia. I think Pitt's offense is proven they can pile up the points. And I think they easily cruise into the 40s. And Virginia definitely doesn't have the offense to score in the 40s. So I'll lay it with Pitt in that one.
All right, I'll tell you what I think about this game here. These games, I'm going to go ahead and take Virginia plus the points here. Virginia on the road put up 35 points a game, running the football and effective passing this year. Although their defense has given up quite a bit here, 34 and allowing 300 passing yards. So they've been in these shootouts on the road here. This Virginia team, Pittsburgh in conference has been pretty well. But Virginia, man, they cover spreads on the road in conference. 7-1 the spread on the road in the ACC. Pitt, they're 2-4 to the spread at home when they're favored by 3.5 to 10. So I'll take Virginia here at plus the 7.5 if you can find it. This Nevada and Boise State. I'm going to take the 25 here with Nevada plus 25 in this one. Again, Nevada's covered 2 of their prior 3 meetings, and Wolfpack here 4-1 to the spread on the road against winning teams. The key to me is Brendan Lewis. When he's mobile quarterback, he can move the football with his arm and his feet. So I'll take the 20. I'll take the 25 there. Washington and Penn State. Boy, that's that one. It's a lot of points to give Washington, right? And Penn State coming off that deflating loss. I'll look at taking the points with Washington. I know it's a tough spot, but they do run the football. They're getting productive work at the quarterback position, and they're holding their pass defense has been really good this year. And I'm going to go ahead and look at taking the points with Hawaii. The loss there. Their recent loss here against Boise pretty much cost the Rebels a playoff berth. Hawaii 11-6 to the spread at home, and of course Hawaii must win 3 of their next 4 to become bowl eligible. They got to finish at 7-6 to become bowl eligible. So this is a big game for Hawaii. Picking a bowl game is important for them there. Fresno State and Air Force. I'm going to go over the total. Keene has put up good numbers at the quarterback position. I know he had a bad game last week, but if you look at his overall numbers. They've been pretty good. Fresno State 9-3 to the over against the Mountain West. I'll look over in that game. I was making a case for BYU in that one against Utah. And guess what? I'm going to take Utah this one only because of the spot. It's a primetime game at home. I think and also too, Utah is still defending this year, and their offense has been a little better at home. They defend the run, and opposing quarterbacks are only completing 51% of their passes here against Utah at home. And if you look at BYU, their run defense has gotten progressively worse over their past 3 games. They're giving up almost 6 yards a carry on the ground. So that, to me, is a little leakage there defensively there from BYU. When you kind of look under their hood, the run defense has kind of gone south. They've been kind of outscoring teams, and they have that defense prowess here. So I'll look at them in that spot. And you give me Washington State at home. You know what they do to teams at home. They bury teams at home this year. And Utah State there is getting basted right now, ready for their cooking because Utah State on the road is giving up 45 points a game on the road this year. If you told me over this one's at 70, I wouldn't. That's a possibility of getting there, no doubt about that. But when the Cougars play these bad defensive teams that allow 5.9 yards per play or greater, they're 3-1 of the spread. So I'll go ahead and lay it there with this Washington State team. All right, let's continue here on the 26 Morning Show as we turn our attention to this 4-game card from the NBA. And we'll do them in blocks here. We'll start with the Jazz and Spurs. We got the Spurs laying 6.5, total 222. Nets and Cavs. Cavs 13, total 221.5. Rod.
Yeah, and you're looking at Brooklyn kept it close again. That's all they do. They just keeping numbers close. That's so how do you bet against that? You can't. I'm going to take Brooklyn plus the boatload of points. It's just they just keep covering the number.
And and that's another situation, Rod. The lowest season win total 19.5 was their season win total. So all the sharps, this team is bad. This team, this is what happens, right? They're going off the preseason rankings a lot.
Yeah, and they've already got 4 wins, right? They've already won 50% of their games. And covered in how many? What are they? 7-2 ATS? Yeah. So okay, not quite half there. 4-5 on the year, but 7-2 against that number. So yeah, I had to go with Brooklyn plus the points there in that one until all of a sudden they fall off a cliff. But till then, I'll take Brooklyn there in that one. I figured the last game they were going to fall off, but they did not. They just keep hanging in there. So give me Brooklyn plus the points there. And Utah and the Spurs, I'm going to go with the under 221.5. I don't think this Utah Jazz team can score enough points to hang. And Spurs can play some defense. So I think the first to 100 type game there. And we get under the 221.5 in that one.
All right, there from Ron. I'd say what I think about these games here. I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with the Spurs team. This Utah team is committing 20-plus turnovers now for 3 or 4 games in a row. Remember they had that one game where they committed 26 turnovers? I said that is not humanly possible to do that in professional sports and in a back-to-back game. Well, they've done it 3 times in a row with that 20-plus turnovers. I've never seen such horrible play by a team. People are also saying this might be the worst team in NBA history. They have a shot to be, but these turnovers are really bad. I mean, this is unacceptable. And the guys shouldn't even. I mean, I'm looking at their starting line. You shouldn't play guys when you're turning the ball over 20-plus times, 3 or 4 times a game. You need to sit every starter. I mean, that is just unacceptable. And they're averaging 19.2 turnovers for 48 minutes. That is horrible basketball there. I know the Spurs at home, they defend, right? The numbers have been better at home. This is like we talked about this. Some teams you look to play at home, fade on the road. This is one of those teams where you want to look at them home. At home, they're shooting 49%, and they're holding teams at 44%, 32% from 3. They're outscoring teams by over 5 points a game here at home this year. So I'm comfortable laying it here with San Antonio. Nets and these Cavs. How do you explain this, Cavs? How do you explain this for both teams? Right, this Cavs. Well, the coaching Atkinson is a hard grinder coach. I think he quit Brooklyn because he didn't want to deal with the BS from from upstairs. Right. That's why he didn't get along with Brooklyn. And after he left, it led to the problems. I'm going to go over the total here with Brooklyn and Cleveland. It is a back-to-back for both teams. And boy, Cleveland just roughshot at the Warriors last night. And man, that offense is strong. 123 points for 100 possessions. At home, and they're not traveling. They're staying at home here. 53% shooting at home, 41% from 3. Brooklyn is not a very good defensive team, but they make their threes. And as we talked about this before with this Brooklyn team, they make that trade. When you trade a starter for draft picks, or kind of that message to the entire organization, hey, we're tanking, right? We're expecting. So, again, building up the trade value for the Cam Thompsons, Cameron Johnson, that's maybe what they're doing. But if they're in the playoff race, who knows what will happen? Jorge might make a good point. That might have been their only deal they wanted to make. That's maybe their only rebuilding mode if they continue to win. We'll see what happens. 19.5 was the season win total. But they did this last year. They started winning games last year, but they tanked after the All-Star break is what happened last year. But this year they're covering spreads like they did last year. They covered spreads last year early in the season. So that's how it looks here. But I'm going to take the over in this one. Brooklyn. I'm not worried about the back-to-back here with Cleveland. They got depth, and also Brooklyn doesn't play any defense, but they're just offense first team over there. Let's continue here on the Tony's Fixed Morning Show. We'll close out the NBA with these final 2 games. Bulls and the Hawks. Hawks laying 3, total 237.5. Raptors and the Clippers. The Clippers from 7 down to 6. Some respect for the Raptors. They are the rest of the team here. Clips back-to-back. Total says 225.
Yeah, so I would take the Raptors plus the points there in that one versus the Clippers. So they win it outright. Got a chance to. But grab the points. I think it's a close game there in that one. And then 2 crappy teams that don't play a whole lot of defense. Bulls just give it up defensively. So does Atlanta. Ooh, Bulls, you look what they've done defensively, and it has not been pretty. Giving up plenty of points. 135 last time to Minnesota. 120 to Dallas, 135 to the Jazz. That is the spot that I seen the Bulls. I was like, yuck! You gave up 135 points to the Jazz? How did you do that? The Jazz, they love to turn the ball over. How did you not keep that one close? When you lost outright to the Jazz, I lost all faith in the Bulls there at all. So I'm going to lay it with Atlanta, and I'm going to take the over because both teams don't play a whole lot of defense. But I think Atlanta at 2.5, I'll lay it. They can easily win by 5 in that one late. Because it seems the Bulls, they love to hang around a little bit. Then that fourth quarter hits, they're like, we're done. Just take us. We're done. And they just take the foot off the gas. They don't even care. We want out. And they get beat down in the fourth, and they lose. So give me Atlanta and the over in that one. Same game parlay.
They're from Rod. I'm going to go there with the over. I'm just going to add to that is the fact that Chicago, the pace of play is a huge factor in this game. Looking at this, let's see here. We've got Atlanta playing at the 5th fastest pace. And you can believe it. The Chicago Bulls are playing at the fastest pace in the NBA. So you got the number 5 in pace against the number 1 in pace. And bad defenses on both ends. So these teams just going to try and outpace each other. I'll go over in that one. Clippers and the Raptors. I'm going to take this one over the total. Toronto has rest advantage. So Toronto is a team on the road that shoots 49%, but they don't defend well. They're giving 123 points per game away from home. LA can shoot a little bit at home here. So I look for the over coming in here with Toronto and LA tonight in the NBA. All right, we got you through this here, through the NBA. And so we continue here on the Tony Jokes Morning Show. I don't have anything for you right now from college basketball. There's too much college football on the mind right now, and a little NFL previewing as well. So, Rod, you got anything today from college hoops?
Yeah, I got a couple from college hoops. We'll kick it off with big game. Tennessee going to Louisville and going to take on Louisville. You look at Tennessee, ranked 12th. They didn't cover the number in their first game. And I like Louisville in the spot. Watch out for Louisville. They're definitely going to be a solid team this season. And I think they can upset Tennessee in that one. So I'm going to lay it with Louisville. That number's moved. It was like 1.5. Now it's 2.5 with Louisville. Good reason I like Louisville there. In that one, lots of games today, more than
interesting matchups. Yeah, I like to see how Baylor can bounce up against Arkansas. Neutral court, their favorite here against Coach K's team against from 2-4.
I like Bucknell here against Kentucky. Kentucky's solid team, but so is Bucknell. They can score some points. 2-0 against the number Bucknell to start the season, and you're going to be 29 with them. I'll take the 29 with Bucknell. I think they can keep it close. The other one in the spot, you know what? I like UNLV here at home versus Memphis. You look at UNLV, they pushed on their first game, went over the total, lots of scoring. But I think at home here in this one, I like UNLV there. It's a point now. Lay the 1. UNLV wins that one. And then give me Merrimack plus the 7.5 against Vermont. You've seen Vermont against Auburn, and that offense isn't good. They may be able to play some sort of defense, but their offense is not good, not shooting very well either. And you're going to give me that boatload of points? Yeah, I'll take it. Give me Merrimack plus the 7.5 there in that one. And then Baylor and Arkansas. I'm not laying any points with Baylor until I see what they can do. You're going to lay 4 with Baylor? No, thank you. They got whooped, and it wasn't even pretty whooping. So I will take the 4 points with Arkansas in that one. And so, yeah, give me the points with Arkansas in that one over Baylor. I think that's just too many points. Sure, Baylor probably get a bounce back after getting beat, but now you got to face Arkansas. Yeah, I don't want to lay 4 with Baylor. That's just too many points there in that one. And then where was the other one? You got Boise taking on San Francisco. San Francisco looked awful in that first game. I'm going to lay it with Boise, and I think the Dons aren't the same Dons team we see last season. I like Boise to come in there and outright them there in that one.
Yeah, thanks for you guys. Well, I'll highlight some good matchups. Tennessee is going on the road, a true road game against Louisville. Here, this one's money has come on Louisville now 2.5 from an open of 1.5. So that one's a pretty interesting, pretty good matchup there. Let's see what other matchups sit here on this Saturday card here from college hoops. Let's see here. What do we got? Dominion. There's a lot of big lines, but there are a few good ones here that caught my attention. Oh, Memphis and UNLV, which Rod tipped on. That's another good matchup tonight.
Great
as
matchup
well.
there.
Great matchup there. What else we got here on the card? There was some late night. I think Rod hit on it already with the with that Auburn Houston. That's the one. There's some question marks on the Auburn side. 2 players got in a fight on their plane ride, and they had to divert the plane. So keep an eye there with Auburn, as 2 of their players are doubtful getting. And when you get in a fight and you had to stop the plane, land the plane, that's interesting. Interesting to happen there. Washington at Nevada here. Boy, Nevada laying the 6.5. Washington team couldn't cover UC Davis there. Pepperdine, UC. We like UC San Diego a little bit too. They're going to lay 8.5, 9 though now against Pepperdine. Word is out on this UC San Diego team. So you see this big line here, 9 at home, even against this Pepperdine team, and Rod hit out Boise State and San Francisco. Some of the games, just some of the interesting matchups today here from college hoops. Very rare that we see these many games, but there's not a lot of football programs playing today other than that Tennessee Louisville team. I know Arizona's in action, but they're facing Old Dom at home, earlier start. But for the most part, these are non-football schools in action. You're going to see that, Rod, a lot of non-football schools here on the Saturday cards.
Lots of them, right? On that Saturday, because if the football team's not playing, then the basketball team most likely will be playing. in those ones here on Saturday. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, because Auburn's on a bye. Kentucky's on a bye, so you're not going to see them playing. That's why you see them playing college hoops today. So that's how it works there. All right, let's turn our attention now. Someone asked about the NHL. We're going to get to the NHL.
We're on either side of that, Robert Martin. I like BYU in the Holy War, and Tony likes Utah in the Holy War. So
yeah. So it means BYU is going to win by 3. That's what it means.
Well, yeah, probably most likely. Yes, BYU wins by 3, and we get a push.
Because I made a big case about BYU being, and then of course I look, well, this is the spot here where Utah is going to come out and play.
Come up and play, right? Well, of course, this is what does Utah have left to play for? Nothing. This is so they've got this one circled as their step up game. So I can see it, but I still think BYU does it.
Yeah, there's some also stuff when Whittingham. I go back to Whittingham back in his Pac-12 before his success in the Pac-12. He was just that close. He was that one win away from making it into the Rose Bowl. And this is probably about 10 years ago. His athletic director made some disparaging remarks about him in the media, and Whittingham doesn't take that stuff, right? He got really, and he was threatening about maybe this is it for me. He was talking about leaving back then 10 years ago because they were getting tired of the near misses from Utah. Because Utah was one of those few teams that never made a Rose Bowl, right? They always got close, but they couldn't get over the hump. They would have these losses at USC, late season losses that would cost them Rose Bowl. Or they get the championship game and lose, right? So they had a lot of misfortune before getting there, and there's been heat all for a while here between the athletic director and Whittingham, and now the team's going the other way. It started to brew up again. They've named a replacement coach when Whittingham retires. He's also talked about retiring. They talked about a game 2 years from now against Miami and Utah, and he goes, "What do you think about you put Miami on your schedule in a couple of years?" He goes, I'm probably not going to be here for that game. I won't be here for that game. I don't know if he's trying to – I don't know if he's going to retire or he's trying to posture for a coaching job. I know USC 10 years ago were looking about making him a head coach, but he didn't want to leave Utah. Even though there's a little bit of stuff behind the scenes there. There is talk that he may be retiring as well, Whittingham. That's been the talk a little bit right now. So – we'll see how it goes because they did name his coach in waiting. That's what I think they named here to start the year because I think Whittingham was kind of hinting at retiring at some point. So maybe he wants to go upstairs. Who knows what's the story? But there's a little bit backstory behind the scenes going there with that Utah program. It's always been a little messy there when that athletic director called out the program. That it's about that's about time that we need to get that neck. Whittingham is a proud guy. He doesn't like anyone talk. His athletic director going to the media and telling them the program's underperforming, right? So it didn't, he's not the type. And I remember that almost they thought that was 10 years ago that was going to be his last year, but they turned it around, right? They got to the Rose Bowl and they had some success there in the Pac-12. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Sports Show. We turn over. We know it's Saturday. We have a lot of hockey here, so let's get to the hockey. We've got some afternoon early action as well. So we'll start here. Flames, Sabres. We do 3 at a time in hockey. Flames, Sabres, $1.44 total 6. Stars and Jets $1.08 total 6. Flyers and Panthers. We've got here Panthers huge favorites. Oh, this Philly coach, man, how long is he going to hang on, man? He always says temper is too much. $2.64 total 6.
All right, we're going to look at Calgary taking on Buffalo first to kickstart the day. And you look what Buffalo's done. Hey, they've won the last couple of games. But when you look, when Buffalo wins a couple games, do they win 3? No. Especially when they score 5+ goals in those 2 games. They're 0-8 following that third game is Buffalo. So we know this Buffalo team is streaky, very streaky. And too much plus price to pass with Calgary there, playing the pretty good hockey. Give me Calgary in that one. And then you look at Dallas taking on Winnipeg. This is a battle of who's the best in the West between these two teams. We know the Jets off to the hot start, but Dallas is going to make some noise. They're like, hey, well, we're still going to make some noise here. I still think Dallas is the best in the West. Jets just off to a hot start. They played a softer schedule as well. So I like Dallas here in this one. You should get Odger versus Hellebuck. Give me Dallas in that one to hand the Jets a loss and say, hey, you better take note. You can't win the West unless you beat us. So I like Dallas to make a statement on that one. And then the Flyers, it's like, is Urson going to play? Urson wasn't, he missed the last game injury. So nothing's confirmed yet goalie-wise. Either way, I'm taking the Panthers to beat up on the Flyers there in that one. The champs are just playing too good right now. Look, 10-3-1 to kick off the year after winning the Cup last year. They're going to be tough to beat out of the East. Because the East hasn't looked great from any team. Florida's the one that's come rising out of the top and still kicking butt. So give me the Panthers. Lay the puck line. I think they win by 2 or 3, beating up on the Flyers there.
They're from Rod. All right, let's continue here on this NHL card. We got Senators and Bruins here. We got the Bruins laying $1.30 total here, 5.5. Canadians and Maple Leafs. We've got the Maple Leafs 2.14 total 6.5. Capitals and Blues. We've got the Capitals laying $1.14 on the road, total 6.
Yeah, you look at the Capitals taking on the Blues. It's a back-to-back spot. The Capitals got beat by the Penguins last night, 4-2 in that one. Busted up a lot of people's parlays. Did Washington last night. So you figure you bounce on them here. Nope, not doing it. St. Louis lost last time out, and they lost by 2+ goals to the Utah Hockey Club, 4-2 last game out. And when St. Louis loses by 2+ goals, they're 13-2 the next following game. I think they take advantage of a Washington team here on the back-to-back spot, having to go from Washington into St. Louis on short notice. Tough spot. Give me the Blues at home there in that one. Montreal-Toronto. Montreal's just been completely falling off the cliff. They've got beat by 2+ goals in the last 3 games. And you know what? When they do that, when they get beat by 2+ goals in 3 games, 25-9 to the over. Take the over 6.5. We see a whole pile of goals in that one. And then you're looking at Ottawa taking on Boston. Guess what? It's the battle of the 2 goalies that used to play together. Ullmark now plays for Ottawa. I'm expecting to have Ullmark starting goal in that one. It's not confirmed yet. And then Boston, I think we're going to see Swayman, which is those 2 guys were playing on the team last year, and they love each other. They were always high-fiving, getting on each other's things, and now they got to face each other here. That's why that total is at 5.5. Both those goalies can stand up and shine here in this spot because they want to outduel each other. They want to say, I'm better than you. You should have kept me. I'm better than you. You should have kept me on that Boston side. So at 5.5, I like the under 5.5 there in that one.
Yeah, from Rodder, let's continue here on this NHL card for Saturday. Next up, we've got Rangers and Red Wings. Devils, Islanders, Hockey Club, and Predators. We got here the Rangers, big favorites on the road, $1.78 total 6.5. Devils favorite on the road, $1.28 total 6. Our home favorite here, Nashville, $1.49 total 6.
Yeah, and you look at we'll look at the Rangers taking on Detroit. Detroit back-to-back spot, having to they lost to the Leafs last night 3-1. Now you have to come and face this Rangers team. I think Jonathan Quick gets the start here for the Rangers in this one. Gives Shesterkin a little bit of a rest going against the Detroit team on a back-to-back. And guess who's making his return in the goal for Detroit? Ville Husso is making his start back for Detroit here in this one today. And he stinks. Absolutely stinks. Rangers beat up on Detroit in the back half of their back-to-back spot there. Give me the Rangers on the puck line. And then looking at Nashville. Nashville's just been playing some really awful hockey. I'm going to just keep waiting for them to put it together. Well, they haven't put it together. They give up plenty of goals and don't score enough. This Utah Hockey Club, they don't score a whole lot of goals, but they hang in there defensively. So close, tight games. Give me the Utah Hockey Club there in that one.
All right, let's continue here on the Tony Morning Show as we continue. An earlier start here for this Blue Jackets Kings game. Kings, big favorites here, 202 total 6. Hurricanes at Avalanche. We've got here the Hurricanes $1.20 on the road, total 6.5. And we close it out here with Oilers at the Canucks. We've got $1.14 on the road for the Oilers. Total sits here at 6.
And we'll look at the Columbus taking on the Kings first. You look at Columbus on the road, not the greatest spot for Columbus here in this one, following in an overtime game. Columbus has lost 9 straight following an overtime game. That's why the Kings are favored the way they are. Kings at home. Hey, the Kings just keep rolling along, playing some pretty good hockey. Are these Kings 8-4-2-1 on the year? I'm going to take the Kings on the puck line. I think they beat up on Columbus there in that one. Carolina taking on Colorado. You look at what Colorado's done, and they've given up goals plenty. Just too many. And what happens is you think yourself, 6-8 on the year is this Colorado team. They might not make the playoffs if they keep playing the way they're playing. Injuries have also plagued Colorado. So Carolina playing the better hockey, 10-2 to kickstart the year. Solid team that people were calling to take a step back. I got to go with Carolina to beat Colorado in that one. And then Edmonton taking on Vancouver. Hey, this is one of those spots that we've seen Edmonton lose to Vegas last time out. Yeah. Evan Bouchard gave up. He made some bad plays. Last minute of the play in your own zone, and you didn't even see the guy coming. You made the pass to the Vegas guy, and he made another pass to a wide open Vegas player, and they ripped it into your net, and you lost. He also made that same type of play in the first period that cost the Oilers a goal. So he did that twice. And when I've seen Evan Bouchard do have that type of game, he stepped up the next game. Take Evan Bouchard to get himself an anytime goal. He's going to score one of those tonight, and we're going to take the Oilers to bounce back versus this Canucks team. But this Canucks team, they're starting to turn things around, but this is one of those battles that's always close and tight. I think the Oilers to come out on top. Give me Edmonton in that one.
Yeah, from Rod, it's very funny to see the Kings and Clippers play at the same time at night, so they don't have to play these day games anymore. Because
right at the same time, normally you have to swap it up.
It could be swap it up.
Yeah. Someone in LA is going, what? I have to choose? Do I go watch the Kings or do I watch the Clippers? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's Saturday nights now. No, they don't have to play those afternoon games on Saturday nights. And sometimes the Sunday nights they used to do that. Or Sundays used to do that
too,
well.
Afternoon Kings game, and then you get the Clippers at night. Yeah, I've seen it the other way too. Clippers play during the day and they throw a Kings game at night.
A lot of times it is the Clippers during the day. I've seen that many times there, and I think it's one of the reasons why Bomber wanted to get out of it. He wanted his night. There's more money. There's more alcohol sales at night. That's just the way it is.
It is, yeah. Oh yeah, big time. Not as many day drinkers is what there is at night.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The day drinkers are not as many. All right, now it's time for our Parlay Peripheral segment. As we give out our picks here in the Parlay segment, we go on over to Rod.
So I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one in hockey, one in college football. We're going to go with the Utah Hockey Club on the money line. We're going to take the Oilers on the money line, and we're going to throw Carolina in there. That would have been my 3-team parlay that I would have put together for everybody on the video, but wife got ill, and I've been dealing with that the last couple of days, so I apologize there for not getting all these videos out. But that would have been my 3-team parlay in hockey. Utah, Carolina, Oilers, 3-teamer there in that one. And then college football, I'm going to go with, where are we here? I like, give me a second, circling around, doesn't want to load. Come on. I hate when it does that. Here, why don't you give out yours, and then I'll, all
right.
It might should be up by then.
I'm going to take the over in UCF and Arizona State, parlay that with Mississippi State plus big price, and I'm going to lay it here with Washington State here against Utah State. That's my 3-team parlay here from college football.
I'm going to go, here it is. We're going to take Vandy plus the points. We're going to take LSU plus the points. And we're going to take Washington State minus the 20.5. We're going to kick the crap out of Utah State in that one. A little 3-teamer for you.
There we go. 3-teamer there from Radar. We got you through all the sports today here on the Tony Sports Show. Back tomorrow, live 9:30 a.m. Eastern with the NFL rundown. Of course, we'll have some NBA, NHL as well, college hoops as well for you here on the morning show. Make sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications. All right, Rod, what do you got for sale over at Tony's Picks? Huge weekend of action. A lot of these sports overlapping. Got NBA, college football, college hoops, and NFL coming back tomorrow. NHL, what do you have going on over at Tony's Picks? You've been having strong here this year in college football. Rod posting 727 units of profit for the year. What do you have for sale?
Yeah, massive college football day. So best bet is to jump on something long term. I've got a nice little Super Saturday 5-pack. You can get 5 on my top college football plays there. I've got 8 in total in college football today. And then I've got a 3-pack in college basketball. 3 plays I absolutely love there. And then I've got a couple plays in the NHL. So 13 plays in total today over at Tony's Picks. So jump aboard. Let's have ourselves a big day after my rough day yesterday. So buy low, sell high, jump aboard me today. We're going to have a big day. I can feel it loading today. Grab a long-term pass. Best way to go. 3, 7, 30 days. Or take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper promotional. Pair me up with Tony and let me and Tony get yourselves a big day here loading over at Tony's Picks. Don't forget Tony T at checkout. Save 15% off all your purchases over at Tony'sPicks.com. Let's have a big day. Excited. Love today's action.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Rod over at Tony'sPicks.com. Great year in college football, so better time to get on board now. We're with the long-term pass. Remember that 1-month pass get you covered a lot of the college football through right up until the playoff time. We'll get you through the championships Saturday as well with that 1-month pass. Or you could, we got 3 or 7 days as well up there. So get on board Rod over at Tony'sPicks.com. I have for you right now a best bet here from college football as well as a 3-pack on the board. So get on board with me. Have a good year this year in college football and NFL. May consider that 3-day pass. Get my NFL coverage here and college football coverage as well as NBA college hoops here for Saturday, Sunday, Monday with that 3-day pass. And remember that promo code Tony T checkout will save you that 15% off. All right. Just want to address some of the comments we had up here. Someone was Robert was asking here about this Oklahoma game. For me, Oklahoma. I don't trust the Drew Pine, the quarterback here for Missouri. Brady Cook is out of this game, so Drew Pine gets to start here. He comes off the Pine. He had some time at Notre Dame. He had some time at Arizona State. It wasn't a bad year in 2022. There 11 starts there. The numbers are good, but the results aren't right. The wins and losses really, but still, he's going to start here for Missouri. And I don't really trust Oklahoma. I know he's going to. I think Mark Roberts going to make a big bet on them. It's Jackson Arnold. This Oklahoma team is all defense. The offense is the problem, right? And it's I didn't give it out. I didn't give it out on the show because I just wasn't confident on either side. And I had handicapped it with Brady Cook playing because Brady Cook is going to miss this. He hasn't missed games and he's going to miss it today. So I handicapped it with Cook in there. But now that he's not there, to me, it's just I just put my hands up. I'm not sure whatsoever.
I like the over here in that one. As much as you think the defense is going to shine in there in that one, I like the over. I think we see some points there in Oklahoma and Missouri today. And it's a low total. I think it's 41.5 too. So.
Yeah, the Kings have had they haven't played a lot of the better teams. But remember that road trip, right? When they went out and
the Kings haven't played a lot of home games, let's put it that way. So you can bet on Columbus if you'd like there, JPZ, but not this guy. I'm not touching Columbus with a 10-foot pole. They've lost 9 straight following OT and them on the road. They're one of these two. They're worse than the Kings up and down. No chance of my touching Columbus. Go ahead, buddy. You have at it, JPZ. That sounds like you want Columbus to me, so you have at it.
Yeah, there you
Enjoy.
go.
Good luck. I'll wish you luck because that's definitely not a top play for me is that Kings game. As you see, I did not put that in my NHL parlay. It's definitely not a premium play. I leaned to the Kings.
Lean to the Kings.
Lean to the Kings. And I can't lay minus 2.5. Or I'm not going to lay minus 205 with the Kings on the money line. That's just silly. So,
LA still question marks. And I think they have a winger that's out too because of that high stick against the Canucks. Got a little chippy there in that game against the Canucks.
Yeah, it got really chippy always chippy with when you got Pacific teams playing Pacific teams. It's always chippy. It's a divisional battle, so of course it's going to be chippy. But Columbus and Kings, here's the way better money to be made than betting Columbus and the Kings. Let's put it that way.
Yes. We got the fan in Denver going to the Avalanche game tonight. Who do you like in the? He says we got somebody going to the Avalanche game tonight. With Carolina.
You want the Avs, but I think you got to just take Carolina. I think you get an under. I think you get an under in that game too. I think you expect some goalies to shine because it should be a Noonan in goal for Colorado, and when he's been in net, Colorado's been keeping it close. Anybody else for Colorado, they're going to get whooped. That's all I want to watch. If it's a Noonan, Avs will be in there, and I think they will. You got to. We get going against Kochekov in net for Carolina. Kochekov's trying to steal the number 1 spot away from Anderson, and he's doing a really good job of it for Carolina. So Carolina's got a point to prove that they're that good this year. So I would have to lean to Carolina. I'm sorry, the hometown crowd's going to go home sad in Colorado tonight.
There you go. PDC, he's scared about. I'm telling you, I'm scared. I'm scared to bet the Kings ever since the Stanley Cup years. I've been scared to bet the Kings. Any bet's been a scared bet for me. This team is just.
It was a lean at best there, PC. I'm not running to the window. I'm not like, yeah, Kings at the punch.
No.
I would take the Kings team total over before I take the puck line.
I just don't see the same structure. Those Suitor Kings had better structure. It just seems to me just the puck control, the turnovers. It doesn't seem to be the team doesn't have that same flow, that same form that I saw back in although the Sutter days they couldn't score. That was the problem. They had too many slow guys up there. They pounded each other, and it was all about the hits, the defense, and puck possession. But you got to score the puck. You can't just sit here and wait for Doughty to make things happen for you.
And with Doughty out, I think the Kings have reverted to a lower scoring type defensive shell type of hockey where you try to get whoever gets the third goal wins that game type thing. Because they're definitely not playing a whole lot of high scoring games. That way, they had that one earlier, but that was way back at the beginning. Ottawa, where it was 8-6. That was the one that always pops out in my head. I was like, whoa, what happened there? Kemper was hurt, and they left him out to dry, right? That's what happened there.
Yep. Let's see. No Kings playing like the Ontario Reign. Ontario Reign. I'm near that stadium. And they're gonna. I'm right. I'm 5 minutes from that place. I haven't been to one game yet, but it is triple. It is I'm 5 minutes away from I'm maybe 10 minutes away from an AHL arena. All right, that's gonna do it here for the show. Rod, anything in closing before we go?
Hey, have a big day, everybody. I'm excited. I love today's card. There's so much stuff to watch. I don't even know how I'm going to try to keep up with it, but because there's college football going, some hockey early. I love Calgary early today. So there's a free one for you. Take Calgary. Love Calgary today. Buffalo's one of those iffy teams too, and they've won 2 and look good. They don't win 3.
There we go from Rod. That's gonna do for this edition of Tony's More Short. Back tomorrow live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, covering the NFL for you with picks, NBA, NHL, and more. So tune in, like, and subscribe, set notifications. Remember, our show immediately archived. So if you ever miss any live show, we're archived. Check out our YouTube channel and watch the replay. That's gonna do it. Boy, goodbye, guys. You guys make it a winning Saturday. We're back here tomorrow live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on the 26 Morning Show.